Hi guys, welcome to Blue Beans Not So Daily exposing my classmates. I'm River. I used to go to this daycare because my parents couldn't pick me up directly after school, and wow, do I have a lot of stories. There was this group of boys I hung around with. I was cool with some of them, but not so much with the rest. I was 12 at the time, so I cared a lot about what other people thought of me. They were the popular kids, and if they asked me for something, I would say yes even if I didn't like it. One of the boys in the group, Jake, had a history of stealing. One day, he asked to borrow my pencil case. I had a compartment in it where I kept my extra lunch money. Even though I knew he stole things, I still gave it to him. And bam, my money was gone. I had about $3. Jake shared the money with two other boys in the group, Andrew and Bill. Luckily, I was on good terms with them, so when I asked for it back, they returned their share. But since that group was the teacher's favorite, the teacher didn't believe me and let it slide. I never got my money back. Let me tell you another story. I had a friend named Brianna. I used to call her Barbie because of the show. I trusted her more than anyone. Whenever something happened, she was the first person I told. I came out to her as non-binary and lesbian. There was another kid in the group, Logan, who pressured her into telling him. Even though I trusted her, she told him anyway. A detail I didn't mention earlier is that the daycare was extremely homophobic. Logan ended up telling everyone, and he even said that Brianna and I were dating, which wasn't true. We were just extremely close, though I'll admit I kind of liked her. After that, the teachers started to hate me even more. They told my parents, but luckily my parents stood up for me and took me out of the daycare. Now, instead of daycare, they send me to art and theater clubs after school. That's all.
So, you can call me Lunar. This story happened in 5th grade. Basically, I had a friend who acted like a pick-me a lot. You can call her Ariel. We were pretty good friends and got really close, even though we had only known each other for about a year. However, she was super toxic to my other friends, which caused a lot of fights within our friend group. But this story is by far the worst one. One day, Ariel got a bloody nose while we were in the halls with my two other friends. Let's call them Kaylee and Madison. After her nose stopped bleeding, Ariel said she couldn't write on her clipboard for some reason, so she asked us to hold it for her. At the same time, she was actively covering her mouth, and Kaylee, Madison, and I were talking about something else. She thought we were ignoring her, so she stormed off and told the boys about how absolutely mean we were, which turned all of them against us. During recess, she spread rumors about us being horrible friends and a bunch of other nonsense. Almost everyone refused to talk to us after that, but I left out something important. She came over to my house every single day. I called my mom, begging her to find an excuse so Ariel wouldn't come over, but she refused. I ended up crying for like an hour. Then we had second recess, and they were constantly flipping us off, which made me really mad. In the end, we were forced to resolve everything.
Hey guys, I'm Matcha. Alright, so this happened when I was in 6th grade. There was a boy in my band class, I'll call him Marcus and he played the trombone. He was kind of weird, but I didn't really care because I didn't know him that well. One of my friends sat directly behind him. I'll call my friend Sam. One day during band class, a bunch of boys went to the bathroom and started messing around, so our band teacher ended up closing the bathroom for about 2 minutes. I was sitting all the way across the room from Marcus, but everyone heard him say to the band teacher, "This is what I'm going to do if you don't let me go to the bathroom." I couldn't see what he was doing because of where I was sitting, but Sam, who was right behind him, saw everything. Later, Sam told me that Marcus did something extremely inappropriate involving his trombone. The band teacher was standing up on the podium and clearly saw what was happening as well. Right after that, the teacher immediately stopped class and sent Marcus straight to the office. After Marcus got sent to the office, the room went completely silent. Everyone was just sitting there, confused and kind of shocked. Our band teacher didn't say much, He just told us to put our instruments down and wait. You could tell he was really upset and trying to stay calm. A few minutes later, class was basically over. Word spread fast. By the time the bell rang, everyone in band was already whispering about what had happened. Sam leaned over and quietly told a couple more people, and by the end of the day, it felt like the entire grade somehow knew. Marcus didn't come back to band for a while after that. Some people said he got suspended, others said he was moved out of the class completely. No one ever really knew the full story, but he was definitely gone. What made it even weirder was that our band teacher never brought it up again. It was like, but just never happened. But everyone who was in that room still remembered it. And it became one of those you had to be there middle school stories that people randomly bring up years later. To this day, every time someone mentions trombones or band class, that memory still pops into my head, and I don't think I'll ever forget it. A few weeks later, things started to feel almost normal again, at least in band class. Marcus never came back, and someone new took his seat. The empty chair was a quiet reminder of what happened, but nobody really talked about it anymore. Every once in a while, Sam and I would look at each other during class and try not to laugh, because we both remembered everything so clearly. It was one of those moments that felt unreal, like it couldn't have actually happened, but it did. Later that year, I saw Marcus in the hallway a couple of times. He kept his head down and didn't really talk to anyone. Whatever happened after he got sent to the office clearly changed things for him, and eventually I stopped seeing him altogether. Now, looking back, it's wild how middle school was full of moments like that, things that felt huge at the time and then turned into stories you randomly remember years later. And I honestly don't think I'll ever look at a trombone the same way again.
I'm Chaos. So, I had this friend who we're going to call Star. She used to be my best friend until one day I found out she was cheating off my test. And not just any test, the one I finished super quickly because, well, I'm a smarty. She started copying my answers without even asking me first. Of course I was upset, so I stopped being friends with her. She was kind of mean to me anyway, so it wasn't a loss. Fast forward to the next grade, me and my friends moved up, and unfortunately, Star moved up with us. Luckily, I didn't get put in the same class group as her, because at that point I really didn't like her anymore. I started becoming friends with this guy called Sky. Back then, there was this whole rumor going around that me and Sky were dating. We weren't. I didn't even like him romantically. In fact, I eventually stopped being friends with him because he began being mean to me. But one day, Star decided to walk up to me and tell me that she likes Sky. This was after the rumor about me and him, by the way. Sometime later, while I was talking to another friend, let's call her Flower Star, came up again and announced that she and Sky were in a relationship. Now here's the thing you should know about Star. She acted like a total pick-me. And I really don't like pick-me behavior. So when she told me that, I didn't fully believe her. Of course, I went straight to Sky and asked him about it. He said it was true, but that the way it happened was that Star went up to him and asked if he would be her boyfriend. That's when it clicked. She was probably trying to make me jealous. All because she had been jealous when people thought me and Sky were dating, even though we weren't. And that's my story.
Hi, I'm Nellie, and this is my story. When I was younger, I had this fake friend named Tammy. I was starting a new school in year 1, and honestly, I just wanted friends. I was pretty lonely, no one would play with me, and I barely spoke to anyone. Then Tammy came along, but she turned out to be bad news. Apparently, she had been at the school since reception, but I joined in year 1, so I wasn't sure if that was true. What I do know is that she was also alone. Nobody liked her, and people would actually come up to me just to warn me to stay away from her. But little 5-year-old me thought, wow, that's so mean of them. So what did I do? I went and befriended her. Tammy seemed like the best friend I'd ever had. But then came year 2. That's when things started to go downhill. We'd have small arguments here and there, but soon she started destroying my things. First, it was the paper clothes I made for my Barbie dolls. She once asked to see them. 3 minutes later, it was ripped apart. I was upset, but she said sorry, and I forgave her. Then it was a pen I just gotten. She unscrewed it and messed it up completely. Later, I lent her a toy for a week and never saw it again. By year 3, I couldn't stand her anymore. I hated going to school just because I knew she'd be there. After one fight, I ran into the bathroom and had a panic attack. That was the moment I knew I was done with Tammy. But whenever I tried to tell her I didn't want to be friends anymore, she followed me everywhere. She even told the teacher I was ignoring her, and somehow I would get in trouble. I felt stuck. Finally, in year 4, I told my mom everything. She went to the school and complained. Tammy was told to back off, and she did for a while, but by late year 4, she started up again. Luckily, by then I'd made better friends, and her mean tricks didn't work anymore. Now, she's finally leaving me alone. And no, don't worry, I'm way past year for now. Hey, my awesome blue stars, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to comment with blue hearts if you've reached this far. And also mention whose story was your favorite. Peace out, my awesome blue stars. Bye.